Welcome to the FaceTime with God podcast. I'm your host, Kay Farrar, and yes, you have tuned in to the right place because we're bringing Christ to the culture and the culture to Christ because the gospel's not for old times, it's for all times. So we've got relevant topics, real people, and we're starting right now. So welcome everybody to another edition of FaceTime with God. I am so amped because we get to talk to one of the stellar principals of an elementary school in our wonderful city, Mr. James Gordon. He is a graduate
Let's go.
of Highland Springs, but also a graduate of James Madison University.
Dukes.
As I am.
Yeah.
And so we are so excited to have him with us. And we're going to kick off today with just a little relaxed, even though you cool. I don't think you could get any cooler. But we just do this to make sure everybody feels welcome and relaxed. And then so that the audience gets an opportunity to get to know you a little bit. So we're going to do rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. So just whatever the first answer that comes to you, let it roll. We're just going to do a handful of these. But
okay.
All right. So the first one is, which one of these is you? Sweet tea, lemonade, water, or something else?
The answer is sweet tea and lemonade mixed together.
All right.
Let's get it. On the Palmer swag. Let's go.
All right. All right. That works all day. All right. If you had a choice, which one would it be? Surf or turf?
Salmon.
Okay, you go with the fish. All right. How do you like your salmon?
Oh my gosh. I like it baked, put a little bit of lemon, some pepper on there, a little bit of Old Bay.
Yes, that Old Bay.
Yeah.
See, he's making me hungry, right? So I love that. All right. If you just wanted to go out and chill and you had a choice between going to an indoor sport or an outdoor sport, which one would it be?
Outdoor, because I love to run.
All day. All right, what? So running?
Running is my favorite sport.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be doing the Monument 10K on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. And so you do it every year?
For the most part, every year, for the most part. And I have my scholars, we have a running team at my school for the elementary school scholars. So they do the 1 miler and then I do the 10K.
That is so awesome. Because I was trying to figure it out. Maybe I can come out there and do the mile.
Come on, let's get it.
I can do the mile.
Come on out there. That's what
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I can do the kids 1 mile.
You can do it. And listen, we off the couch.
I was wondering about
T-Rock, yes, that's my guy.
Really?
When I'm able to run with them, I run with their team.
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
He also came on the show.
I heard. That's my guy.
Yeah, he was a part of our youth department as well.
Respect.
He was part of our youth department.
Yes.
All right. So we already talked about the food a little bit, but let's dive in a little more. So if you only had these two choices, a meat dish or a veggie dish, which would it be?
Veggie, because I'm a pescatarian, so veggie.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
I used to be, as a teenager, when I met Nolan Griffin, I was a vegetarian because he was a vegetarian. He led a great example.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
You know, I was going to ask some more, but this is a great segue about being a role model.
Yep.
So I know you are a principal. I saw how you kind of just lit up when I was introducing you to my nephew, and you were just immediately you were encouraging him. I saw in your bio that you being a mentor and all of that good stuff. So you have had some good male role models in your life.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about how you've been influenced by role models.
Man. Great. Again, thank you, Ms. K, Elder K, for the opportunity. I can start with Nolan Griffin. Okay. Nolan actually checked me one day. It was like, listen, I want to work with you on like how you carry yourself. He taught me how to dress for even going to church.
Wow.
He's like, I want you to dress differently.
Wow.
Nolan took me to James Madison. My mom didn't drive and still doesn't drive on the highway.
Okay.
So Nolan helped to take me to college as a sophomore.
Wow.
And so I really appreciate him. Pastor Calvin Anthony Duncan taking me under his wings to teach me about the importance of character. Wow. My mentor, also Dr. Herb Monroe, who was a principal years ago at Henrico High School, who now is a superintendent in Surrey County. And so I stand on the shoulders of like other people that have just led the way, male and female. Right. So I appreciate my mentors.
Wow. What do you think they saw in you? Or do you feel as though it was kind of, they picked you or you picked them, or was just kind of a mutual thing? I mean, how was it that you got so many great mentors?
God.
Okay.
I think God coordinated it all. Like, I tell people, I once read in this old book that it says that the steps of a righteous person are ordered by God. And so for me to meet Minister Nolan, to develop a great rapport with him and all the other people, is because of God. But I think what I hope they got from me was being coachable and teachable, and that I was going to be able to listen to what they would give me as far as advice and feedback.
Wow.
And carry it out.
Wow. Yep. Steps of a good man.
Yeah.
Ordered by the Lord.
Yep. Respect.
So in other words, you can't go wrong.
Come on.
Come on.
Oh,
if it's ordered, last time
I like that.
When something is ordered, I know I just hit the mic.
That's
when something is ordered, you can't go wrong.
That's good.
I love that.
That's
it
good.
may take some time,
That's
but
good.
you can't go wrong. So I went and I got this as a little prop.
Oh, wow.
I got it on my bookshelf.
Yes.
So you can flip through some of those pages if you want. It's old and tattered because that so this is where I grew up, right around this street from 10 years old. That's where we moved when I went to Henrico. But what is this? This is a hall pass. This is some memorabilia.
Wow. Ooh.
That's a 1981 hall pass.
Respect.
1981 hall pass. But if we were to take a look in your high school memory book, what would we see?
So, respectfully speaking, if you go to the class of 99 yearbook, College Springs, I am listed on there as teacher's pet.
Really?
Out of all the superlatives, smile, eye, whatever, hair, whatever, teacher's pet.
Wow.
And so I guess they saw that at some point I would become a teacher, which is what I did. And so I was blessed to be a speaker at my graduation.
Wow.
I was number 7. This is when they used to have it at the Richmond Raceway.
Okay.
I don't know if they did
what graduation? He's like way back.
I don't know how they did, but now they do it at the Siegel Center or whatever. But now actually at the big event center by Virginia Center Commons. But I was on the track team. I was on the Key Club. I did indoor, outdoor track. Yeah. Okay. Key Club, beta team, etc.
Now, what is beta? Is that just for scholarship?
Yeah, based upon like your academics, and good grades and things like that. And the Key Club was about community service. So that's what you would see. You would see me with my crooked teeth on there before I got my braces. And so, wow. That was fun.
So teacher's pet. So that also means you show respect. That you followed through on what you were being asked to do.
Yeah.
Do you think, where did you get that from? Did it come from your parents? Was it just innate in you?
Again, God, and also to my mom raised me. And so I was raised by my mom, and she instilled a lot of great values of the Lord and also fear. Okay. She might have been like 5'4", but my mom still to this day does not play. And so I didn't want to let her down. Yeah. But then I had, of course, people like Nolan and others to help guide me along the way. At that time, when I was a young person growing up, I had Pastor Freeze, who was our pastor at the time. Who was another great mentor, role model for me.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. I tell you, so I was looking up some information on Glenn Lee.
Come on.
Earlier, but as you glance through there, I'm gonna see if I can hit my.
Was this you running?
Is that you? So I had a record at Henrico, but it wasn't me. It was a relay record I happened to be on, and it was so funny. Because, we didn't run long, we don't do long distance that much. So I ran, so I was very eager, just like you said, teacher's pet.
Yep.
So a young lady on the track team, she's all right. A young lady on the track team, right? For girls, a lot of times they didn't have girls for all the sports. Like look, I'm 5'4" now. I don't know, I have gained some weight. I was so skinny back then. They would be like,
I can relate.
They would be like, well, would you mind throwing the shot put? I probably couldn't throw, a brick, a small, big rock. I was like, sure. Yep. So they put me on the shot put. They were like, do you want to high jump? I'm like, oh, wow. Sure. But see, what happened was if other teams didn't have a girl high jumping, and so in the meet, somebody's not gonna have a. So I would get some points.
Yes.
And actually, that's how I went to Brooklyn before. That's how we won the championship. We won the champ. Not just how, but I'm saying the mindset of our coaches and the strategizing about making sure they got points.
Yes.
They helped us win.
That was smart. They worked the system.
Yeah, they worked the system.
Whoa. So you 1982. Wow.
But I wasn't. That probably was when we did the visit. That was probably because this is my high school book. Yeah, we went on a trip.
Okay.
And we did a visit up there. But tell us a little bit about how did you end up, from JMU? And I know you were a principal before.
In Oak Grove,
before.
Richmond City.
So how did you end up getting, being a principal?
Again, give God all the props on that. I got a teaching opportunity over at Mount Vernon Alternative School.
Okay.
December 2003.
Okay.
And so I had just finished student teaching for James Madison here in the city, Henrico County area. And a job opened up. I was their fourth teacher that school year. And I started in December. So they went through from September until I arrived. Wow. I was their fourth teacher. And so there is where I met my mentor, Dr. Herb Monroe.
Okay.
And he taught me about the power of relationships, right? I can cerebrally, intellectually help you understand a concept. But if you don't rock with me on a relationship, Mr. Gordon, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
So I found it was important to make learning fun and also make it cool. So these were alternative learners, which means they were not at that point successful in their comprehensive school environment. So if they went to Brooklyn or they went to whatever middle school it was, because of some challenges, they were then rerouted to alternative school. And so I just treated them with love and kindness and respect. And then from there, I got an opportunity to go back to Highland Springs High School as an intern.
Okay.
My old high school as an intern. Okay. And so I loved that. And then God allowed me to become an assistant principal at John Rolfe and associate principal, then opened the door for me to become a principal in the city and then back in Henrico County. So he's just guiding me along the way. And I really feel like one of the things that my mentor, Dr. Monroe, talks about is making the underdog the top dog, right? I started with kiddos that for whatever reason, they went through 3 teachers and I was there 4.
Yes.
But I wanted them, and there you had to wear a uniform and et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted them to know you're not what they say, right? Whoever that they are. And so your past doesn't have to define you. You are. And I call, even now, my students, I call them scholars.
Wow.
Right. So most of my scholars they go to Henrico High School. That's the feeder pattern. They come from Essex Village, which is now called St. Luke. 84% of them come from poverty. James, that means almost 9 out of 10 of them.
Yeah.
But that's their secret sauce. They got common sense. They have street sense. Because they got to be able to look at you and tell us, right, if you're going to hurt me or not. But our job is to give them that book sense. And so we just try to make it, it's cool to be smart. So tomorrow will be Friday. Every Friday we have something called AAA. It stands for Attitude, Attendance, and Achievement. And that's where we celebrate our scholars. So every, and tomorrow we actually do something called Fun Friday. We do it once a quarter where we celebrate you for having good behavior. So that's important. We want to make it fun and cool to be smart. And take away the misnomer of it's talking a certain way that makes you corny or not cool. No, you can be smart. Yeah. And it's okay to be smart and confident with it.
So when you celebrate them, what does that celebration look like?
So the celebration looks like for tomorrow. So we'll call the parent and say, hey, listen, Miss Kim, I'm calling you. I got some good news. EJ is our AAA winner. You're gonna be like, oh my God, AAA. So we got goodies. Sometimes we have bicycles based upon if we got donors.
Bicycles.
Yes.
Wow. So we come strong.
Yes, come strong. We got little toys and goodies, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse things, science kits, remote control cars, and you get a sign. And so the theme of our school this year is no cap.
Wow.
That's an urban term. And so we say no cap on learning because we're not lying about it.
Wow.
There is no limit to what our scholars can accomplish and achieve at our school. So we stand in front of this beautiful picture that our teacher created. If your parent can come, and if your parent can't come, we'll take it with you without your parent. We want your parent to be there, and your parent is there taking this photo, and they hold the sign up. And then we got Texas Roadhouse discount coupons to give to the scholars as well. So that way it becomes a family, and we do it every Friday between 1 and 2 o'clock. Wow. And I tell them that's how we end our week. Every Friday, no matter how tough the week might have been, Mr. Gordon's going to make sure that happens with our support of our team.
Wow. So how do you do that? You rotate through the grades or whatever?
Yes, we try to make it equitable because we have pre-K through 5th grade at my school. We got about 450 scholars. And so we try to make sure it's equitable. So we not only do we do AAA, which is Attitude, Attendance, and Achievement, but we also do improved attendance because attendance is an area of opportunity for our school and our school community.
Absolutely.
So we acknowledge, you know what? Little EJ has improved on his attendance from the last 2 weeks. We want to celebrate him because we don't just want everybody that's doing well all the time to get acknowledged. We got to acknowledge the kids that are starting to make progress as well. So it's equitable.
I love that. Absolutely love it. And where do you get most of your donations?
From my church, Faith and Family Church, the PTA is giving us Faith and Family Church.
Faith and Family.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool.
Yes, ma'am.
I just got the update about Palm Sunday.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, so I might swing through there.
Come on through.
Swing through there.
Yep, all road leads to 7900 Walmsley Boulevard.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
I love how positive. How did you end up at Faith and Family?
When I was a teacher at Mount Vernon Alternative School, the secretary at the time, Miss Elder Marie Fleming, invited me to come and sing for a Mother's Day thing. Okay. And so I went and visited, and I was like, yeah, I actually like this place. Wow. And that's what happened.
Wow, that is
from
awesome.
A visit to sing.
Yeah, I love that.
Colossians 3:23 and 24. And whatever you do, do it with all your heart as unto the Lord and not unto men, knowing that it's of the Lord that you shall receive the reward of the inheritance, because you serve the Lord Christ.